Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing session of IndieX 2024. And now, in this during this hour, we're gonna have the pleasure of playing one of our big surprises for this event because we didn't have contact with this specific game, Nights in Tight Spaces, until the game was submitted to IndieX. But I was already following the studio since 2015 because I I have bought previously all their games, so it's a really big pleasure for me to talk with James from Grand Shatter, the developers of Nights in Tight Spaces. James, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting us throughout all, 10 years of our
Yeah,
development career. It's very exciting.
yeah. I think it's well deserved. You've been really creative, well, both with skyscrapers. It was your first game, then Rico and Rico London, if I recall. By the way, I just want to apologize because I didn't actually buy the DLC from Rico, the Breakout DLC. I
I
still
think we
have
can
time
let
to
you
do
off
it.
that.
Sorry.
I think we can let you off that.
But for us, it was a really a big surprise because back in 2021, you released a game, a really ingenious game called Fights in Tight Spaces, a really, really smart game that we were completely hooked here on our team. I was telling you before we started the recording that we actually wrote about it back in 2021, and then for me it was like, whoa, wait, they are picking this up, all this ingenious idea, and building something amazing on top of it. And there we have it, Nights in Tight Spaces. James, what was the train of thought behind this process?
Well, I think all of our games have been sort of inspired by action movies to some extent. That sort of runs through the DNA of who we are. And with Fights in Tight Spaces, we wanted to create this kind of exciting Hollywood movie, kind of action movie inspired fighting game. But we also wanted to kind of put you in the shoes of this character who is improvising their way out of situations. And the way we kind of created those situations was giving you a deck of cards, and your draw of cards was the thing that you improvised around, and the space that you were in and the enemies you were fighting. It sort of evolved like that. And then for Nights in Tight Spaces, we just wanted to kind of build on that really kind of nice, interesting platform that we built, kind of work with the community who we'd kind of worked along with through the early access process of fights, and really kind of take it to the next level in terms of kind of tactical gameplay and adding in various different elements that yeah, as I say, are built on that kind of platform and those set of mechanics that we developed for Lights and Tight Spaces.
And obviously, something that you notice when you look at your career as a studio, your output, we noticed that um, you you like to experiment in terms of art direction, and that's one of the points that I think you completely went creatively and positively out of the rails. Okay, this is actually a positive out of the rails with fights in tight spaces, with that minimalistic approach that I think really works well with everything that is happening. And then Nights in Tight Spaces picks up all those mechanics, but adds it, for me, what it seems like ballpoint drawings and sketching. Why? First of all, congratulations, and then why, and a good why. Tell me, why did you decide to go with this?
Yeah, the look of Fitz was really iconic and striking. We really wanted to, we needed as a smaller studio to have a game that was instantly recognizable, and
Yeah.
Fitz really did that. For Knights, it's a bit different a circumstance. People are more familiar with the game, but we needed a style that sort of represented the genre and the sort of language of the slightly more fantasy world that we tried to create, and the existing art style didn't quite suit with its clean lines and all of those things. It's much more modern and action movie. So this, we wanted to take something that was still visually incredibly interesting, incredibly recognizable, but add in a bit more detail and a bit more purpose to it. So we've got these very sketchy lines, but with these beautiful environments that the characters who have a slightly different style sit inside of, and hopefully there's still enough contrast on those to make it clear what's going on, but still be a unique looking game that looks very different from what else is out there. And it's testament to how great the art team are here to have kind of evolved the visual style in that way and create something that is still recognizably a sort of tight spaces game, but has a brand new, fresh look for that suits the genre.
I while we keep on this with our amazing conversation, I think the best thing is to actually show nights in tight spaces and take it to the foreground. So I think if our audience isn't yet familiar with what Nights in Tight Spaces is doing, now you're noticing exactly what James was explaining. Why Nights in Tight Spaces have such a unique art direction approach. Okay, so artists alone, how many artists are now at Ground Shatter developing Nights in Tight Spaces?
So the total team is 14. We have 2 animators and 3 other full-time artists. We also make use of a few outsources for our concept art and our some of our 3D character modeling.
How far along the prototyping process did you and the rest of the team notice that the contrast between leaving characters in a sketch look but monochromatic would work well with fully colored, almost comic book like engraving scenarios and landscapes?
Yeah, we tried out a few different things. Early versions had a lot less color throughout, and while that looks nice for a kind of promo video and to pitch game in terms of actual readability for the game, it didn't quite work. So we had to evolve on that. So there was various different iterations tried out with different styles of character or different UI implementations of various different things, and gradually we coalesced around this thing where the characters had strong outlines, and there was a lot of kind of inkiness around them, but also having the sketchiness and that kind of ink blottiness to other elements, so they stand out against one another.
Do you feel that in the beginning, in the creative process, that you were still, let's use the word, compromised with transitioning from the art direction of fights in tight spaces to what you were trying to achieve with this one?
I don't think so particularly. I think we were always clear that we needed it to look different. I think there was both a need within the studio to do something a bit different, and also a need for the game to look a bit different from how the previous one did. So we were always on board with the idea of finding a new way to approach that.
Mechanically, how did you pick up everything that you so well structured with and you experimented with in fights in tight space? Sorry, this is kind of a tongue breaker. What did you decide to change from one game to another to fit this ambience now of a fantasy, medieval fantasy?
So the things that we've kind of really focused on are the party system, where you can hire multiple characters and add them to your team and play with all of those characters at once. So you have a shared hand and a shared deck, and you have to choose, as well as which card you're going to play, you'll have to choose which of your characters is going to use that, and that unlocks a whole host of extra mechanics. We've got an equipment system, so as you go on, you can buy new equipment, you're gifted new equipment, and you can equip that to your different characters depending on what classes they are. They have access to different weapon slots and such like. So those are the kind of 2 main additions. But as we found with the first game, every time you add anything that has sort of multiplicative effect on all of the existing mechanics, so simply by adding a second and a third character to the game, suddenly tactics that did or didn't work would change, and the possibility space for the player just escalates. So every time we add new stuff, if it's as big as the party system or as it's as small as new kind of card abilities, then you then have to work backwards a little bit to all of the stuff that's already in the game and see how that's influenced by those changes. And that's quite an exciting process from a game design to go through.
Because obviously, in the previous game, you wanted to translate the feeling of 80s and 90s action movie, maybe also a Hong Kong kung fu movie with all how we actually interacted with cards and how we have had to adapt more or less on a quick stance to all the action. But here we are using part of the same mindset of what you built from the previous game, but at the same time changing completely because now we're on a more traditionally tactical RPG or even some classical RPG turn-based kind of approach. Do you feel what you built 3 or 4 years ago is now something that you can creatively expand to other genres or even other settings?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the nice things about having worked on Fits and having, you know, we found our way a bit as we were developing that game. When we started it, we didn't know what things were going to fly and what things did. There wasn't really a template for combining turn-based tactics with deck building at the time. There are other things that do that same job in different ways, but we kind of wanted to put our own spin on it. So certain ideas that we had at the very start of that process never came to fruition, or did come to fruition, found that they weren't ideal for the game. So everything that we added through that process has kind of got us to an amazing place at the start of this project to go, right, we know the things that do and don't work. We can start building from this great starting point, having a finished game and a set of mechanics that we understand how to work with. At that point, you can gain a lot of creative freedom because you're adding to something that already exists rather than having this big blank slate and trying to work out where the possibilities are.
Because even now, I think our audience just noticed this. It's not just a question of positioning. It's not just a question of having a tactical approach on how you use your resources, both your momentum, both your combo meter, because you can also use it to play certain cards. But the environment is also another layer of decision you can have, because I just use head smash because that specific skeleton was closer to it. So suddenly the world opened completely in terms of possibilities for this game. So I believe also juggling all these different mechanics and aspects must be a really challenging process for the game design team, for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that we wanted to do from day one was to make the environments, part of the star of the show, right? So the layout of the levels, where the enemies spawn, where you spawn, all of those things contribute to what's going to happen. And people have compared it, and I think it's quite a nice comparison. Is they are effectively, you're presented with these kind of little combat puzzles, and they are semi-randomized based on spawns. So you always have to make a slightly different set decision, even if you get the same set of cards. That could either be a benefit to you or a detriment to you if the space has changed or the enemies have changed. Like, all of these different elements all add up into creating these little combat puzzles. So a single turn is a puzzle in itself, and then the wider fight is a puzzle. But you have to sometimes be thinking ahead about what the outcome of your moves is going to be, what the enemies are going to do. We've kind of tried to draw from the leading games in the turn-based tactics world, as well as from.
Yeah, because I was just thinking that you just said, if you can expand on that, you just said like semi-randomized. What do you mean by semi-randomized? How different is each level? It's not the enemy pieces are not set by you in a predefinition, or does the game adapt on how we are progressing through the chapters?
It varies quite a lot. So For certain story missions, each time you play them, it will be the same set of characters, but they might spawn in different positions relative to the player. In others, which are less kind of story critical, or in like daily play mode and endless mode, those can be heavily randomized. So we won't even know at the start of the run which levels you're encounter, which enemies you're encounter, and that's really good from a replayability point of view. It's nice for players to be encountering different stuff, even if it's in the same part of the world that they've seen before. The fact that if you deal damage to an enemy and one of your other characters is in range of that, they will also attack. So that adds yet another layer of choice to how you play out your turns, whether you're going to the order in which you execute your actions is now so much more important than it was when you were just one character. So choosing when to move characters in range or when to attack them is extra important when you're dealing with this party system.
Yeah, because now we're kind of surrounding this enemy, and we just noticed how the archer, the hunter's attack got triggered by the fact that we kicked an enemy precisely in the line of sight of his attack. I can only imagine, I don't know if you have it or not, just imagine that we have an arrow that could do knockback to an enemy, and that could put it closer to a melee character of ours, and that it would combo. It's almost like a chess puzzle in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and this particular setup here in the training, there is a way to complete this level on this turn if you play your cards right.
Okay, is that a challenge?
I mean, it's a slight challenge. Not many people get it.
Okay, so let me
do it.
Okay, so now that's a challenge. Okay, brawler. Wait, I'm just losing where. Oh, I think I closed the show info. We can access. Can you remind me where I can access the specific informations of our characters, because they have their own characteristics, don't they?
If you mouse over each character, it will show you on the right-hand side of the screen what they do.
Okay. So, and this guy has 6 of health. Okay, so
6 health and 12 block. So the block will be taken first, and then the health.
Okay. Let me think. Okay, I have shift, which means that I will go to the other side of an enemy. Here I gain 1 momentum. Oh, I actually can kill him now because I can do 9 damage. So I can just do 1 step. Yeah, but long strike requires a sword. And I'm unarmed.
So one of the things that we've introduced for this game is different characters can use different attacks. The sword indicator on that just means if you are carrying a weapon, it will use the weapon for that attack. Certain cards use the weapon, certain ones don't, but you can still use it when unarmed. It's just that that character happens to only have their fists.
Oh, he blocked. Yeah, he had. Wait. God, I forgot. He had a 9-point block.
So you've failed your challenge, but you can still beat him up.
I know.
There is always more opportunities to beat up a knight.
So yeah, I can move. Yeah, and he packed a punch.
He certainly does. So here's where the support attack thing comes in crucial. So what I would do here is I would move the archer in line with the knight first.
Yeah, I have to move up to 2 tiles or 2 tiles mandatory?
That you can move up to 2 tiles with that. So if you move to that middle one, yeah. And then also you can put the green brawler up a tile as well, using the shift. Shift's a very good multifunctional card. It can be used for standard movement as well as jumping past an enemy. So now if you use the same character to long strike the knight, then everyone else will join in.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because now he's completely surrounded, so I think I'm gonna use my brawler to yeah, up to. Nice. No. No! I should have.
If you'd used the long strike from the green one, then both of them would have joined in. You still got the quick shot that the archer can use.
Yeah, he's gonna die, but this could have been a really beautiful turn, and it wasn't. So, oh well. Nice. How long are you envisioning the campaign mode, more or less? Do you have? Did you set like a length for it?
So we think on a sort of average playthrough, if you take on some side quests and you know spend your time on it, not speedrunning it, we think probably about 8 hours for a kind of a nice full playthrough. But what we've built into it is an encouragement to play the game multiple times. So it has a roguelike structure. So each time you play, things will be different. We're expecting the player to die lots before they complete a run, and also in this time around, the story evolves as you play multiple times. So there's different endings and different branching opportunities within the quests as you go through. So there's extra incentive to play multiple times.
You know, James, when I played the build you submitted for the first time, and I was reading about the idea of the void spaces, so the and this pop up just explained it, that any blank space is considered like void. If a character goes there, it immediately dies. You know, the first time, I think it was during the tutorial where we had this scenario that had a door. I thought that we would actually go to another room.
Yeah, I think the kind of idea behind that is like there's a sort of logic in movies where if someone is thrown out of a door or a window, they're gone forever. That's how you deal with a goon in a bar fight, is by throwing them out the door, and then they never come back. So we kind of try and keep that tradition alive. So as well as doors and windows and things, we also have lots of ledges and pits and all that good stuff.
Because I thought you were going also on a cinematic approach, which would be if a scenario had a door, and if you would, I don't know, if an enemy would hit you and you would knock back from that specific tile, for example, here in this diorama, if we would go through a door, that the action would resume also like in a cinematic way to the next room, like if we added the new diorama just to keep on doing the fight. That's what I thought was going to happen. And you know how I discovered it didn't happen?
Was it you being kicked out?
Sorry?
Were you kicked out of a level and lost the game?
Yes. It's a good way to learn, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's do this. He will go back one. No, but you know what I would like? Would be to position myself here. I would like to come here, and can I do this? So
have enough movement to do that this turn.
Because I only have slip, which will allow me to move one tile, so I can go here.
Yeah.
And a jump attack will only give me one. Oh, range of 2. Can I do it?
Yeah. So you'll need to kick the guy who's next to you back a tile. Then you can jump attack, and that will close the distance. and then you'll be able to slip around to wherever you want. If you jump attack now, rather than use, then you'll get free movement out of the attack, plus you'll do damage.
Yeah. Right. And I still have one momentum, which means that I can actually... Yeah, I can just jab him. There's an enemy coming now. So yeah, I think I will position myself here. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So you've selected the rogue, which is one of our starting archetypes. It's one of two that's available in the demo, the rogue and the cleric. And the rogue's got a bit more of a sneaky starting deck. So we have other classes, like the brawler and the fighter, are a lot more out and out attacky, whereas the rogue has got dodges and poison and stun and some of the sneaky mechanics that kind of befit the archetype a bit better.
Yeah, I actually forgot about this. What I was trying to do is cheese this move, but I forgot that the rule is pretty specific. What I was envisioning was to use shift to move to the other side of an adjacent character, which is this knight. But since the free space behind it was actually behind this squire, I was trying to cheese this up and moving behind both of them, but no, the rule is pretty specific, so I can't do that.
Standing characters on the same tile, where madness lies.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna add a dodge because it does against 4 block. Yeah, you can block, but can you block poison? I don't think so.
Generally, the special effects like poison and stun only trigger if you break the block before damage is applied. But what that will have done is loosen him up so that you can stun him with the throat punch.
Yeah. Nice.
And then what's also good is with this arrangement is that you can use the palm strike, which is for those players who've not played it before. We have as well as the momentum, which is your main currency for playing cards. We have combo, which is accrued via playing attacks, and it's diminished when you move, and it encourages a much more attacking style of play. So we have certain cards that are gated by combo rather than based on how much momentum you've got left. So things like the palm strike there means if you've done a run of attacks, you can then use that at the end as an extra powerful attack, and it also makes you stronger in future turns. So it's actually a good finishing move for a turn, because then next time you do extra damage with each of your attacks.
What I really wanted to do is position myself here to quick kick this against this one.
Yeah, your plans are thwarted once again.
Yes.
Just you have to play the field as it's dealt.
But I think my plans were thwarted because I think the devs hate me. I think it's just for that.
We would never hate you. You've bought all of our games.
Out of curiosity, I haven't tried it yet, but the attacks that need a surface close to it to trigger, like the head bash, can you use it if the surface next to the enemy is another enemy?
No, not generally. We have a couple of special enemies later that are both enemies and walls, so you might be able to use it on them. But you can use them to run along if you've got a wall run attack, which is always fun.
The effect wasn't what I wanted because he actually died, so he didn't got pushed. But I killed 2 in a turn, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, I have combo enough to do a palm strike.
Yeah, that would be good because that will clear his block.
Yeah, he has 5 block.
And then you can poison him.
Yeah. So you would suggest to remove the block before applying the poison? That's your
Yeah,
general
because
suggestion?
poison is only applied if the damage
No...
is unblocked. So yeah, use your stronger attacks first, and then your sneaky attacks afterwards. And because he's got this big wide attack, you wouldn't be able to position yourself to avoid it. So you can use your dodge and allow you to avoid.
Yeah, I only had slip. Yeah. So he gains 5 block every turn, but now poison entered. It will ignore the block, or it will subtract from the block.
That's correct. No, so the former. So the poison will be taken from health directly.
Okay, thank you.
So you can use that in exactly this case where you've got an armored enemy who's replenishing their block each turn. This gives you the opportunity to kind of deal them damage, even if you're not doing it directly.
Okay, 5 damage. Poison is stackable?
Yep.
Nice. That's a good number. So I have 3 momentum, but I only have shift, and shift is not enough because I need the blank space between me and him to do a jump attack.
Yeah, the best thing you can do now is get out of the way of his strike in one way or the other.
Haha.
There he goes.
Cool guys don't look at explosions or people dying from poison. James, kind of a cerebral game like this is because you can approach it as a tactical or on a more tactical. You should approach it in a more tactical mindset. How fun is it for you as a developer to watch someone play your game, and because you almost have access to the matrix, don't you? You're looking at all the background lines and everything. You look at it in a different way. There's someone that isn't as routine in playing your game as you. But how do you feel it? Like, for example, now watching me playing this, and obviously you're thinking, oh, you should have done this, I should have done that. Wow. How is that for you?
That's definitely true. But I'm also conscious that there's a massive spectrum. Whereas I will see a certain number of moves ahead and what's possible within an individual turn. There are players on our Discord who operate at levels that I can't possibly comprehend, who will go, oh, if I do this and this and this, I'll end up doing 1 million damage in a single punch. It's like there are definitely levels to it. So it's fun for me because I know what we've designed in, and I know what the idea behind what we're doing is. But what's quite exciting is that people will take that and do these completely wild things with it, and that's quite it's quite a rare treat as a designer to see players take your game in directions that you weren't necessarily expecting.
Because obviously then it's also luck of the draw, because now I would like to have quick kick, because these 2 skeletons are really, really well positioned for that. But I don't have it. So an enemy will spawn here, right?
Yeah, so those orange markers are where the enemies are coming next turn, and
so I think it's best
you don't want really to get boxed in.
Yeah. Maybe here I'm gonna jab him, and I'm going to, I'm not going to use, no, I'm going to be here. Yes, nice. Please give me a quick kick, just that. Okay.
You do have taunt. Taunt is a fun card. So part of the fiction of the series is that idea that enemies are basically goons and they're dispensable, and they will attack one another as willingly as they will attack you if you engineer the situation. That thing where your leading character grabs someone's arm and makes them punch their friend is always quite entertaining. So if you use the taunt card on one of the skeletons that's behind one of their friends, then they will simply attack.
This was a good one. I liked it. Target has no block. He has block. He doesn't have block, so he's gonna be 10 HP, 7 HP. Throat punch will give 2 damage. 2 damage and then 4 each turn. So I think I'm gonna poison jab this one, because then you're gonna have 4 HP. When does poison effect get out?
At the start of the enemy turn.
Okay. So he's gonna be 4 HP only. I can kill him next turn. But I could also... No, I can actually allow him to die the next turn. Yes.
That was a good decision, because he's got a kick as well, and he was about to kick you off the bridge, and then we'd have had to go back to the start, and we'd have all been very
he's
sad.
Gonna push me. Yeah. So I'm getting out of the way here. I don't want to be... Okay. Okay, so...
And now finally you get to use your quick kick.
Yeah, but they are not... they are not close enough, so... What I'm going to do is...
You can knock him off the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Your whole purpose in life is to kick skeletons off bridges.
Bye. This is so rewarding. Actually, I just noticed this cool detail. I actually seen the skull and the bones falling here in the river and then disappearing. I just haven't noticed that yet. So okay. I can go there. Yeah. No, because I would need to shift. I have 2 momentum. I can gain 1. This guy has 10, so maybe I will ruin his block.
If you check what move the unarmed skeleton's got.
Front kick. Deal 5 damage in 1 push to adjacent enemy.
Yeah, that's a shame. You could have done something cool. Because you could have taunted him, and he'll damage his friend, but he won't do quite enough damage to clear the space, so you can jump attack him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kill him. Wait. Oh, no valid targets?
Yeah, so jump attack is one that needs a clear space between it and the enemy.
Now I can.
Yeah, that is also valid.
Oh, 6 damage. No, you should have stayed close to your friend. But I will throat punch this one. Poison him. 8 damage. This one has 7. And he's stunned.
So he's not going to cause you any bother this turn.
I will sleep and palm strike this one. Yeah, so I'm gonna slip. Palm strike this one. And I'm gonna get 5 damage, get pushed 1 square. Okay. Yes. I expected that. So now let me try to do something really beautiful. Which will be jump attack. I need 1 One or two? Can I have two blank spaces between me and the enemy?
No, just one.
Mm. I can go there, but I don't want to go there. Okay, so where do you want to go? Hmm. He is going to front kick. He's going to. Oh, but this one is going to die this turn, so I don't need to hit him. I can simply.
Okay. Oh, poison him.
Yeah, I wanted to go closer to him, and then I'm gonna go here, ignore him, and let him die.
Classic
just,
rogue behavior.
just for the style points. Oh, okay. So, flourish, channel, or cantrip. Okay, channel.
So one of the things that
Oh,
the fantasy setting allows us to do is to add magic to the world. The first game was set in a sort of the world of spies and spying doesn't really lend itself to having magic in the world, whereas fantasy does. So it allows us to use cards that can influence the board in much wider ways.
so I just decided to go all in and spending all my money.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah, now I have a party. Yeah, but yeah. So now attune is a magic trait for this game.
That's correct. While you don't have any Dune characters at the moment, you do have a hunter, and they have bow attacks, which are unique to any character that's carrying a bow, and only certain classes can carry the bow. So it gives you a lot of interesting choices when it comes to selecting your party and selecting your card rewards and such like. And this is where hopefully the support attack system will really kick in.
So now I wanted something to push my okay, because I wanted to put this one here, but I think I can still do some cool stuff. Let me check. So I think I will slip this one. I'm going to shift this one here. I had the wrong one.
Well, you can use your rollback if you wish. If you make a mistake, you have a limited number of rollbacks.
Yeah.
And you can go back to the start of the turn and put right what once went wrong.
So what I wanted was my hunter to shift it here. And
suppressing shot's got a minimum range, but you could open the space, do the
with the
suppressing
slip.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Minimum range is 2. So I would need to slip and then do suppressing shot on this one. Yes.
And then the support attack kicks in as well. So
And that means that I can also
you can
kill him and move one space.
love that animation. You could have played dodge on either of those characters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But it's too late now.
So now I have a front.
But actually, one of the things that we've kind of trying to encourage a slight shift in players' mindsets in this version. In Fitz, the prevalent tactic was to avoid damage at all costs, whereas now playing with multiple characters, you want the ability to have tankier characters who can take a bit of damage, take a bit of block, and still carry on. So, like a subtle shift in people's mindset to understand that it's not the end of the world if a character takes damage. It's quite an interesting new thing to play with. We have enemies who can attack you from wherever they are on the board. So making sure that you've got dodges and blocks in your um, arsenal is a valuable lesson to learn.
So it's like this. 10, 8. He's gonna get okay. So I'm gonna go, and one is gonna spawn here. So I'm going to bomb strike this one. That's it. How many cards are you? Do you have design now, more or less?
There's about well, we're intending to have 300 in the final game. There's
300.
I think yeah, there's about 260 of those currently in the game. And there's in the demo there's a subset of those because we don't have all of the archetypes represented for players, so misses out on a few. But yeah, it's a lot. So we have actually brought over quite a lot of the cards from Fates because most of them still make sense. But we also have a whole raft of other things that make use of the setting a lot.
So what I want to do is, yeah, he has no block, so he's gonna be stunned. So I'm not gonna take damage next turn because this is gonna die by poison. Yeah. So now, oh, I have a shove to the left or right.
Before you shove, I would recommend moving the
Sleeping?
archer towards the. No. If you move the archer towards the door.
Yes. What was your idea?
Either of those places, and then you can shove the skeleton into the archer's range, and the archer will get the support shot. And then you'll deal extra damage.
Yeah, good.
That should be everybody's aim.
Nice, which means that I can also... No, I can't quick shot as a 1. That means that I can simply shift and quick shot him.
You'll need to select the archer first, but yes.
Yeah, I wasted a...
And you saved both the hostages, so even better.
Yeah. You know what, James? It's I was so in the zone playing Knights in Tight Spaces. I just noticed we ran out of time of this streaming session, and the game is so good. It's whoever loves fights in tight spaces, it's that mindset, but I think expanded quite a lot, turning this into puzzle strategy game more or less. And from what you're saying, with amazing replayability, because all the pieces aren't previously set up by the game, so you always have to adapt not only for the card draw but also to the positioning of the enemies and the outcome of each turn. The game is amazing. Congratulations to you and the rest of the Ground Shatter team, James. It's really such an ingenious game.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And how? By the way, how is the? So the game was announced or made public quite recently. How was the reception so far? So, what kind of feedback?
Really heartening. Yeah, we've been really pleased with the response, both in terms of the raw numbers of people who are looking at the game, wishlisting the game, and getting interested, but also from our dedicated community of players to see how they've responded to the changes that we've made. We've been running closed betas with some of them to really get their feedback and really make sure that we're doing justice to the things they like about the game, and also see how they're engaging with the new stuff that we've added, and making sure that that is as higher quality as the play that they've already experienced in Fit. So it's been really nice to get the full range of things for people discovering the game for the first time, people who were familiar with Fit but didn't know there was a sequel coming, and then players who've kind of been with us on the whole journey.
Can we expect a release next year, or is it a bit farther than that?
we are not talking about release date yet. I'm sure the good folk at Raw Fury will announce that very soon.
Yeah. But what I'd like to tell is that this version that I was playing, whoever is watching now can also play it because this demo is available on Steam, isn't it, James?
Yeah, yeah. Just search for Nights and Tight Spaces on Steam. You'll get the store page. Give it a wish list and download the demo. We're keeping the demo from Next Fest live, so um, all of that content, and it's a specific set of content for the demo. So it introduces a lot of our concepts, but in a quite a speedy way. So you get to try out the party system, you get to try out different character types and cards and things as you go, and in a nice little contained set of demo content.
So I just pasted the URL for the game. So what I would suggest, because this is a really amazing game. It's already so well. I don't want to do a pun, but the game is mechanically already so tight uh, that I think everyone that enjoys tactical games will see how deep Nights in Tight Spaces is, and I deeply suggest everyone to go to the URL that I just pasted. Go to the Steam page, download the demo, wishlist it to get updated on when the release date for Nights in Tight Spaces gets announced, and buy this amazing game. I'm sure you'll not be disappointed. Just try the demo and you look for it by yourself. So, yeah, James, thanks a lot for spending this hour with us. And yeah, congratulations on the studio's career. First of all, that on my side, and then specifically for what you were achieving with Nights in Tight Spaces. I truly believe it's going to be a good success, great success both for you and for Raw Fury. So, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for featuring us.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a short break. If I don't know if everyone watching wants to go have dinner, and we're gonna return in 1 hour with Celestial Return. So again, James, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for everyone that was with us during this hour, watching us playing this really, really challenging and ingenious game. And we'll see you in an hour. Thanks a lot.